this is a good feeling just to come here and be able to tell my story and, just express myself. I'm not very good at opening up, so we'll see how this goes.
You recently jumped into the fitness industry, and I kind of wanted to talk about that because I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I love that you are incorporating this new age mindset when it comes to fitness.
Early on in my childhood, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, so this kind of determined and changed the way we would eat. We always would try to have like balanced diet. We would try to eat whole foods. So I always knew how to eat and how to take care of my body, but that's not to say that I always did it or made the healthier choice. So I was just trying to find myself and figure out what it is I'm capable of and just retrain my mind to see that, like, if you put in the work, you build the confidence.
Every guy, wants to look good physically, right?
Yeah,
Take their shirt off in the summertime.
Yes.
Did that have any effect on your decision to want to be fit, want to be healthy?
I would say.
Let me ask the question right.
Yeah.
Was girls the motivator?
So Untamed for me is just, it means like non-domesticated, wild, free, which all of us are when we're born. And I just want people to realize that you don't have to follow traditional methods to become fit. You're already fit. You just have to embrace what God has given you.
All right, welcome to the new episode of the Myles podcast. This is Myles Jr. I'm the host. And as always, the vision and goal of this podcast is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist, always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. All right? So I got a guest on the pod today. Wanted to do another pod. I know I've done some pods on fitness and health before, but I wanted to get a different perspective. Good friend of mine, quite some time. He's a fitness trainer. Has been fit most of his life, for what I know, but has gotten serious about it over the years. And I wanted to have a conversation with him about new age fitness. So I want to welcome to the pod Mr. Kayle Fox. Let's clap him up, guys. Welcome, Kayle. I can call you Kayle, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Not Sly.
I mean, whatever you prefer.
All right, Kayle, aka Sly.
Yeah.
Aka any AKs?
No, that's about it. Sly Fox.
All right. Well, welcome to the pod, bro. First of all, thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. I just want to say I really appreciate you bringing me on this platform. I've known you for some time now, from I was a kid, actually. I was honored to be mentored by your father every Sunday at church. So this is a good feeling just to come here and be able to tell my story and, just express myself. I'm not very good at opening up. So we'll see how this goes. This will be a first time for me. So I'm looking forward to see where we can take this conversation.
Nah, cool. So I want you to relax, right?
Yeah.
I want you to we just having a conversation. I guess like don't even pretend like no one else in this room. It's just
right.
Me and you.
Cool.
Shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
So like Kayle said, right? We went to church together, right? We was a part of my dad's church. His parents, my parents know each other well. Me and his brother actually graduated high school together. So our connection goes way back. But you recently jumped into the fitness industry.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to talk about that because I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I love that you are incorporating this new age mindset when it comes to fitness.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that is needed, and something that is unique. And I think you're doing a good job with your clients and, building your brand.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have that conversation, but first let's talk about your background, right? So let's talk about your, early education, college education, and then let's talk about how you got into fitness.
All right. So starting out, I'd like to say I was very health conscious from a young age. This was due to just going really kind of deep into just a little perspective on how I became so enthused about like getting my body right, just eating correctly, and just having a balanced diet. Early on in my childhood, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, so this kind of determined and changed the way we would eat. The food we would have in the house. We didn't grow up really eating like Kool-Aid and chips and snacks and candies and things like that. So that kind of, we always would try to have like balanced diet. We would try to eat whole foods. So I always knew how to eat and how to take care of my body, but that's not to say like I always did it or made the healthier choice. Like I'm still human. I still have addictions and still
we indulge.
Yeah. So for the most part, I always had an idea. And then just growing up, I was always sick as a kid. So my parents always tried to steer me in the right direction. I was asthmatic when I was born. So certain things would trigger my asthma. I wouldn't be able to like indulge in dairy products, and most people don't know that about me. So a lot of times before I would even go to school, I'd have to be on like, I think it's called a nebulizer. So I'd have that, and I'll have to take like my asthma pump with me. Even throughout sports, it was very like, I wouldn't say, it was very, it crushed my ego a little bit, because I would always feel like I had to carry my inhaler with me just before anything, basketball practice, basketball games. So it was like, that always made me feel like my body wasn't strong. So that psychologically took a toll on me growing up. So, you know, so just to fast forward, I made it a point in my life to like get stronger, to take my health into control, and just make better choices for myself. Although I graduated high school, I didn't go right off to college. So I worked for a while at BEC, if you didn't know, with my mom. So just basically took like my life into my own hands. That's just like just going further back into my story. But for the most part, I got into fitness, I would say, when I went to college. I always dreamt of playing.
So got into fitness as far as like you know, developed a gym regimen, or fitness in the sense of?
So like just touching back on the earlier years, playing basketball, I always wanted to play collegiate sports. I never got the opportunity to, because like I said, I always felt like I didn't put in the work or enough work to get to that level. So when I finally went off to school just for my education, I made it a point to see like what I was capable of. So I would like wake up every morning, go in the gym, do basketball drills. I would meet new people. I would try to join leagues. I was just trying to find myself and figure out what it is I'm capable of, and just retrain my mind to see that like if you put in the work, you build the confidence. So that was my mindset on that. And I would wake up every day, go to the rec center. I would just take my basketball, just put in work. People could tell, they saw it on my Instagram. They was asking me like what I was training for. And actually I had no clue that discipline and waking up every day would lead me
to what you're doing now.
To what I'm doing now.
No, that's crazy, right? Because a lot of the times on this pod, like I talk about, and I have guests to talk about, like, you know, they're in a certain phase in their lives and they're doing this thing that doesn't make sense to them at the time, or they're doing it for an entirely different reason. But in fact, like that practice that they're doing, or that discipline that they're doing, is actually working towards like something they're entering into in their future. And that happens a lot in life, right? We see that play out in our lives, and I think that's what that was for you, right? So when you're going through that phase of training, you know, going through these drills in basketball, and trying to make sense of, like, you know, the passion that you had and the desire that you had to, you know, want to play.
Yeah.
And when that didn't come to fruition, when did the switch happen to say, all right, you know, I didn't make it in this lane, but, you know, I could pivot and maybe do something as far as becoming a trainer, or did it just come with, you know, I won't work out? And well, let me ask you this first, before we get to the formal stuff.
Yeah.
So is part of it, because I know every guy, like, you know, wants to look good physically, right?
Yeah,
Take their
yeah.
shirt off in the summertime.
Yes.
Did that have any effect on your decision to want to be fit, want to be healthy?
I would say.
Let me ask the question right.
Yeah.
Was girls the motivator for this the fitness?
I wouldn't say it was
mindset?
the motivator, but it was just I was a skinny kid.
Mhm.
So, like I said, for me, I never felt confident. I always felt weak. Basketball is a physical sport,
Mhm.
and I didn't feel confident competing with people that were bigger and stronger than me. So instead of just running from it and complaining, I was like, I have to do something about it.
Yep.
Because like my best friend at the time was very physical and like very athletic and strong,
Mhm.
and he would always tease me about it. He'd call me skinny fat. Going through puberty, he'd be like, "You have breasts, like you're too skinny to have breasts," and all that. So like, it was a lot of.
The kids screw over.
That's what it was. So it was a lot of my own thoughts and my own motivation
Mhm.
that got me in the gym. Isolation, just trying to figure out who you are when you go off to school and you don't have friends, and you can be popular when you're in your hometown, but once you go to this, like you're starting over from zero.
Sure.
So you're eating lunch by yourself. No one knows you. No one knows your history. You don't have any friends.
Mhm.
So I feel like, just to go back to the point I was saying of just the messages I received on Sundays,
Mhm.
I just started to develop myself. Self-development was key. I was like, if I work on myself and I treat myself in a certain way,
Mhm.
people would then treat me a certain way.
Mhm.
And I can build the confidence and demand a certain attitude that I would want from people if I put out that attitude first.
Mhm.
So the gym just builds confidence. It makes you feel good about yourself. You get nothing back that you don't put in.
Absolutely.
So it takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of discipline. So that was really the turning point for me. Of course, aesthetics played a major role in it, that you want to look good.
Mhm.
And like I said, I was very small at the time. So yeah, that was a driving force.
So so you wanted to be healthy. Wasn't confident in yourself.
Yeah.
In like what you were trying to do in sports, and you wanted to build your physique to where you thought it needed to be. And then that transition into becoming a trainer, a fitness trainer. How talk me through that, because I know you did some little odd jobs here and there.
Yeah.
But I think once the trainer, or this mindset of I'm going to chase this, once you held on to that, like I saw the change, right?
Yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
dedication, I saw the work you put in,
Yeah.
and it was inspirational, bro.
Yeah.
So I want let's talk
Thanks.
about that transition.
All right. So basically, I came back home in 2018, like the end of 2018.
Mhm.
I was studying graphic design.
Mhm.
Got my what do you call it?
Bachelor's?
Technical certificate. It was like a technical school.
Mhm.
So I came home in 2018. I was trying to find a job within the field that I studied.
Mhm.
It was hard finding a job in that arena, because here graphic design at the time it wasn't as common, and
Yep.
social media wasn't as rampant as it is now. So
Yep.
they would just want you in the office, just doing flyers.
Pushing papers.
Yeah, just pushing papers, putting logos on letterheads and things like that. So it wasn't fun for me, and I never felt like I could sit in the office for more than an hour.
Mhm.
I always felt trapped, felt like I had to get up and move. So ironically, I heard about this new facility that was opening, that was Market 360.
Mhm.
And I was just like, man, I'd love to work there. It reminded me of the gyms that I was going to in the States when I was in college.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'd love to work there. I went there. There weren't any jobs available at the time. And the only job they had available was a custodian job.
Mhm.
So I always believed that this was me already building my confidence
Yep.
and being more secure with myself. I was like, once they let me in the door, I could find my way
Figure it out. Yep.
to the top.
Mhm.
So they let me in to become a custodian. That lasted maybe a week. They saw some potential and good qualities in me. I then transitioned to front desk,
Mhm.
where I strived a lot. I was very good with guests. I was very personable, because in my earlier years, I worked at Body Zone Fitness out of high school. And so it was like the same familiar faces I would see. So I felt right at home, and I could call people by their first name,
Mhm.
and like people respond to me in a very good manner. So it was like a great atmosphere for the gym. It was a great atmosphere for me. And fast forward, the owner, Jimmy Mackey, was just like, man, what's your plan for this? And I told him, well, from when I was in school, I wanted to be a basketball trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my initial dream of, you know, teaching skill development to people and like working out as a basketball trainer. So that quickly became reality without having any credentials or collegiate attributes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tough to like grasp people's interest or like make them gravitate to you for like that type of knowledge.
Yep.
If they're saying like, hey, you weren't a player or you didn't play basketball,
Yep.
you know. So I quickly pivoted to something else, and he was like, man, I could show you how to become a trainer. And he introduced me to NASM, the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So he showed me that, hey, if you become a trainer, I'll show you like, I'll put you in the position to you know, get your feet wet and start seeing what it's all about.
Yep.
So I can remember days I would be there at the front desk. I'm reading, studying, I'm answering the phones, I'm talking to people, I'm mixing shakes, I'm clearing the floor, to later on realizing that I took the test, passed it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just made a leap to become a trainer full time.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I was there about 2 years, just started training. Maybe that first year I started training, that was like the year we experienced COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So right from there, as quick as the rise came, as quick as the fall came.
Mm-hmm.
So I was now home trying to figure it all out. I remember doing Zoom calls in my parents' living room, clearing out the whole living room, doing Zoom workouts.
Virtual training. Yep.
So that was very popular at the time.
Yeah.
So then we were able to get, I think we had like a little window where we were let out, and I would grab some equipment, whatever I could find, and I would take them to people's homes and like work out with them, body weight, 2 kettlebells, a medicine ball. And just from there, I just kind of build up a community of people, and I was able to have my own clientele
Mm-hmm.
without depending on the gym's clientele.
Mm-hmm.
So when COVID was over, I was faced with a decision to make that was either I'm going to train through the gym or I'm going to train on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I then took some time off. I already built these relationships with these people, so I was like, I don't think I can just cancel them. They were with me through COVID. They were with me through my lowest, when I was confused about what I was going to do, when I felt like training wasn't going to be the thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a chance and I went to Evolve, which is no longer up and running.
Yep.
But I went there and I spoke with the owner, and I was able to negotiate an agreement where I rent the space and I just bring my clients there.
Mm-hmm.
And I pay a flat rate, and that worked out perfectly for me. So that gave me a year to see like, hey, what I was made of.
Mm-hmm.
And business was great.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to sustain myself. I was able to move out, able to rent an apartment. So that was just like a reassuring point to me that this fitness thing can happen.
It's real,
you know?
yeah. And you was able to create a life for yourself.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you went from there to
Yeah. So
uh-huh.
from Evolve, I was just like, I feel like I can do much more. So I lowered my pride. I went back.
back to my
And yeah, I went back and reached out to MacFit, and I was like, man, it was never any bad blood. It was always like, they were always open to me. They were always like, they always believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
They always saw my potential. They always told me that. They always reassured me that they know I'll do great things.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to them, and I was like, man, I just feel like I'm in a position where if I know I could deliver more, I could sustain myself. And MacFit, to this day, is still the monopoly. It's very much one of the best facilities we have on the island, if not the best.
Probably the best.
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can admit that. So I went back and I sat with the owners, and I was able to tell them like, hey, this is my proposal. How about I pay the gym and I bet on myself that I'll have the clientele to sustain myself.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I'm there, and I just pay, I'm not going to disclose figures, but I
numbers, yeah.
I pay an amount to the gym,
Yeah.
and they trust me enough. They know I keep the standard. They know that I'm personable with everyone. They know that they don't have to worry about me. I'll make sure everything's good. I'll help people even if it's not my clients.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone asks me any questions, I'm dapping up everyone. I'm hailing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mannerly to everyone. So that was one of the real turning points in understanding that this fitness is more than just abs and a good chest. Is more of it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to understand it's a business. Many people that feel that they work out so they can show people how to work out.
Yeah.
But that's only one aspect of this business,
Yep.
you know?
Mm-hmm. So your pivot going back to MoxFit has garnered you opportunity to create a good life for yourself.
Yeah.
You ventured into your own
So
your
with
own
that
label?
when I spoke to the management,
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression that I would kind of have to somewhat represent their brand.
Right.
And they were like, no, man. They was like, you build this thing, be yourself. I even offered to wear a shirt just to, like, keep the peace and
Mm-hmm.
make it seem like we're one cohesive unit.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, no, man, do your thing. Wear your clothes, wear your shirt, wear your own company, So from there, I was able to just make some money to where I was like, what is my next step?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a difference between having a high-paying job and owning a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if I'm not physically training people, how would I make money?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do vacation, if I was to have a kid now, like, things like that was on my mind. So I just took a chance. I got some insight on some equipment that was being sold, and I just took a chance, went into my pocket. My wife helped me. It wasn't no investor. It wasn't no one to help. It was just us taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just bought some equipment, and we negotiated with a space, and we just filled in that space. And now I'm in phase 1 of Untamed Studios.
Untamed.
So I'm just trying to get it all going and see where it's going, because it happens so fast. Like,
Yep.
that's the thing with manifestation and
Yep.
believing in yourself. It can happen. It might seem like it happens overnight, but you've been putting in the work
For years.
Yep. But the thing is, once it's here, you have to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still embracing it. I'm still trying to fathom that everything I was thinking about on those days, just training, waking up early, going to the rec center by myself,
Mm-hmm.
Working out with some pro guys who were very nice to me, who I met during my college career.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of instilled in me this hard work and this mentality that, everything is possible just
Mm-hmm.
from me being able to hang with them and play with them and train with them,
Mm-hmm.
lift with them. And I saw the confidence I always knew was in me, but I had to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So just through working out with them and kind of keeping up was like reassuring that what I always knew was I was capable of playing this sport at a certain level if I put in the work.
Sure.
So now it's just figuring out where I want to take this.
Sure.
So
where did the name Untamed come from?
So Untamed for me is just, it means like non-domesticated, wild, free, which all of us are when we're born. Like, everyone runs, jumps, moves as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere along the line with life and responsibilities and kids and trials and tribulations, we forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want people to realize that you don't have to follow traditional methods to become fit.
Mm-hmm.
You're already fit.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to embrace what God has given you. Like, everyone can run.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can jump. Everyone can walk.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can move their arms within reason, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not disabled, I understand. But
Mm-hmm.
we can hone into, like, Untamed is basically thinking outside the box.
Sure.
So it's not one way to get fit. You don't have to work out for 5 hours, have a boring diet, only drink water. You can't enjoy yourself. You can't go out. You can't have friends. You just must be this
Disciplined,
rigid person.
psycho.
Yeah, no.
This why I would have liked to have this conversation with you, because, like I said, I see what you're doing. I've seen your growth. I've seen I've seen where you started and where you are now, And then I see the type of training that you do, the type of encouragement that you do, the type of challenges that you do. I'll tell you one thing. One thing I don't like about most trainers is, like, most trainers who train, they train most of the, I mean, let me just generalize it. Some trainers who train, right? The people that they train, they're training them harder than they train themselves.
Yes.
That's how I feel, right?
Yes.
I feel like sometimes the workouts I see these trainers have people doing, and these people is be dying. I just be like, bro, if you do this workout, like, you probably ain't gonna be able to finish this or do what you asking this person to do, right? But I commend you, and I love what you do, because you're always, or for the most part, you're working out with your clients, or you do the workouts that your clients do. You know what I mean? Because you do your workouts on your own, obviously, and I see the same intensity that you work out with, I see your clients working out with. And I like trainers like you. Not saying that, all trainers don't do that,
understand.
but I like trainers that show that. Like, show me that what you're telling me to do, you have already tried, you've already tested, and you've already proven, right? And I feel like that mindset, that mentality when it comes to training, in and of itself is a marketing tool, right? For you to show and be like, hey, this is what I could do, or this is what I do, this is the results that I get, allow me to do the same for you. And I think that helps in building credibility, helps in building confidence in your clients, or building your clients, and then evolving into being able to start your own brand and open your own gym, and who knows where the heights goes from here, bro.
And just to piggyback of what you're saying, so like you say, some trainers might have their clients or their class or whatever it is, the way they train, they might have them do something that they wouldn't often do. I would just tell those people sometimes stop. I like when my clients check me and they say, why am I doing this? So I would challenge everyone to ask their instructor or the person that trains them, what is this for? Or what is the reason behind this? And how is this beneficial to me? Not saying that there aren't benefits to high intensity workouts and burning calories, but sometimes ask, why do I have to do 10 burpees and then a backflip and then walk on my toes?
I just say, hey, come do the set with me. Let me just make sure you can do what you ask me to do.
So all things, if you enjoy these things, don't get me wrong, if you enjoy these things, by any means, do it. But there are just some foundational things that I feel like every trainer should instill in their clients. So I feel like the gym is for your weakness, not your strengths. And I notice a lot of people come in there and do what they enjoy, and really not focus, and does not focus on the things that they suck at, which in my opinion, that's what the gym is for. So if you have weak legs, you shouldn't come in the gym every day and bench press. If you have one side of your body, if you have muscle imbalances, you should come in that gym and focus on that. If you have horrible flexibility and mobility, you should focus on full range of motion. You should focus on the things you're not good at, and that will make you a better individual, versus just coming in there and be like, man, I don't like to run, I'm not going on a treadmill, I don't like to do legs, I'm not even going in that section, because now that's just pushing you further into your comfort zone.
Sure. I like that. So I could get to that, because that's where, I want to have that conversation as far as like your approach to fitness, and your holistic view of working more on your weaknesses than your strengths, right? I think that's a good approach. But first, I want to get into your personal life a bit, right? So you mentioned your wife recently got married. Yes. Earlier this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you didn't only get married, but you also went into business with your wife. So you and your wife are owners of Untamed Fitness together.
Yes.
It's Untamed Fitness.
Yeah, right? Untamed Fitness.
So how is that? How is that working with your wife on a day-to-day basis? Basically seeing her, 24/7. I do the same thing, so I can relate. Yeah. And I know for me at first it was challenging, because we had to figure out like how to work with each other. Yeah. So how is that? How is that transition going for you?
It's a beautiful thing, to be honest. I never envisioned the person, my partner or my wife, going to a job that is stressful to her, that would take her away from me for most of the day, where she would spend most of her time there and less time with me. So we all came to this work together conclusion during the COVID period. So she was actually a school teacher, and COVID obviously closed down schools, and she was like panicking a little bit about her next move. And I was like, man, trust me, if you was to become a trainer, I would see that I would facilitate and make sure that you're good. And it was a little fight, a little back and forth for the most part, but she listened. She went and got certified, and from there she was able to tap into a market that I couldn't tap into, because I would have female clients, but at the end of the day, most females feel more comfortable training with a woman. Their husbands may feel more comfortable with them training with a woman. So that brought a totally different aspect to what I was trying to build.
Sure. So you're able to build more clients now with her.
Yes.
And I assume that your wife loves what she's doing. She's in the room, so she's shaking her head. Yes. But it's great, man. I love to see people that are united in their vision, right? And especially you as a man, and you found a wife who is supportive of what the vision that you have.
Yeah.
And so supportive that she wants to work along with you. I think that's like, that's priceless, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing that you can pay for, and I think that's commendable for you, man. So I want to jump into the way that you approach fitness, right? You talked about your holistic approach and working on the weaknesses and stuff. What's your approach? Like when you have a client or your current clients, when you have new clients, what's your approach in getting your clients in the best shape that they could be in?
So I would like to say most clients, especially if they're not like athletic clients or youth clients, if they're just like what we call just your everyday Joe, or just a person trying to figure out which way to take their fitness,
Sure.
Boring works, because you have to start them off at a level that's sustainable. I see many people come out the gate, they hit the pavement running hard, and then it fizzles off, and they never return, or they go hard and then they fall off, they go hard, then they fall off. So for me, it's just basically giving them things that I know they can accomplish, and they'll feel comfortable and feel motivated because they came to the gym and it wasn't what they thought. They didn't die, their body isn't hurting. So I like to just, the more they come, I give them enough just to keep them hooked, kind of, so I give them things that I know they'll be successful in. So they're like, I could do this. And then I just build upon that. And as they get better, we just progress and we just keep growing. So I like to say progress over perfection. So for me, it's just a mindset approach, because you change your mind, you change your life. So
nothing changes until your mind changes, guys.
So
we say it all the time.
So I see a lot of people probably thinking how to get started in their fitness journey, and the journey to having a fit body starts with a fit mind. Because if you don't know the cause for why you're unfit, you're always going to be unfit. No matter how hard you go in the gym, no matter how many days you do in the gym, how many hours you do in the gym, what is the reason why you're unfit? That's what you should target first. Is that your poor eating habits? Is that sedentary lifestyle? Is that your environment? Is that drugs and alcohol? Is that depression? You have to first find out why your mind is working this way, and then you can change your body.
Sure. So fitness has evolved over the years, right? You have your traditional way of approaching fitness, and then you have like the more modernistic way now in modern times. And I want to get your take on like how do you view that, right? Because we have been privileged enough to grow up in the era of like traditional workouts or traditional fitness, where like the mindset was like you have to eat chicken breasts, boiled egg whites at that, low carbs, a lot of supplements, and lifting heavy in the gym, going 5 times a day, every day, like going all out, no rest, like wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. If you're in the gym in the morning, you lazy, this mindset that we've grown up thinking that this is the way that we should do it, to now where it's like it's a lot more flexible, right? And there's a whole there's other techniques that you could use, other types of fitness workouts that people can do. What's your view on the traditional approach to fitness versus the more modern practice?
So I'm all for the more modern practice. I think, like, again, it's about sustainability and longevity. What could you do for a long period of time And what can you do consistently for a long period of time?
Mm-hmm.
Can you consistently see yourself never eating ice cream again, never having a piece of cake, never having that drink, never having pizza or a burger again in your life? And most people, that's just not realistic.
Yep.
So nothing comes without sacrifice, but I also feel that you can enjoy but not indulge.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're willing to put in the work and have the discipline and figure out a way where you can balance these things you enjoy with the things that you need,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the best approach to have, because you can sustain that over time.
Mm-hmm.
So you might need to eat Wendy's and a burger every day, but you might need that in your life. Some people are, like, you have clients that say they'll never give up Coke soda, but they are still willing to put in the work. They're still willing to put in the other hours in the other areas that they need to enjoy that Coke.
Sure.
They're not just going to sit back and give up on life and say, well, if I can't have this Coke, then I might as well not work out. I
Sure.
can just stay fat or whatever
Sure,
it is.
Sure. No, I think that's a great mindset, right? Life is all about balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have the Wendy's, you could have the pizza, you could eat the cake, the cookies, the cupcakes, like all of those stuff, but just don't overindulge, right? I tell people all the time, like, you know, it makes no sense to force yourself to eat something you don't enjoy, because you're not going to sustain it.
No.
Right? It's all about building a lifestyle of, you know, I'll eat the way I'm supposed to eat, say for 5-6 days, and then on, you know, one day out of the week or one meal out of the week, I'll eat whatever I want. And, you know, you create a balance in that sense.
Now with that, there are people who are that disciplined. You have to know who you are and what you're capable of.
I know I ain't that disciplined.
No,
more.
the average person isn't.
To not
but
eat
there are people
some cheap
who enjoy eating a certain way and don't need, you know, fast food, but you have to look in the mirror and see and say, am I that person?
Mm-hmm.
Or be realistic and set attainable goals to say, like, hey, I'm not giving up these foods for life, but that doesn't mean I should give up on myself.
Sure.
You can still achieve a level of fitness just through sacrifice and discipline.
But you have some trainers out there who would down their clients for, like, you know, not following the fitness regimen that they built.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know how sustainable that is, right? Because if me as a client, I know I have some challenges with, you know, whether it's my diet or my motivation, or, you know, the confidence that I need to be in the gym, and you as a trainer don't recognize it and try to, you know, assist me with that, then what's the point in us still being, you know, you being my trainer?
Yeah.
Right. There has to be an understanding from a trainer's standpoint to say, okay, I could work with this. Like, you start to bargain, like, you give me this and I'll allow you to do this, but you have to, you know, and I mean, I just feel like that's a good way to approach it from a trainer client perspective, because a lot of the times you have trainers who, like, just barking at their clients and saying, and calling them out, like, when they doing eating bad or ain't doing what they're supposed to do, but not realizing, like, bro, this a human being. They ain't as fit as you may think they are. Or, I mean, sometimes clients just be slacking it off or whatever, but for the most part, you know, it takes time.
It takes a real approach. Like, you have to learn. That's why it's called personal training. You have to be personable and learn that everyone is different. Someone's been eating away for 30 years is not gonna just change the way they eat in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you have to be realistic. Although you will want them to do that as a client, as a trainer, to get the best results, and use it as a marketing pitch and be like, hey, look what my client was able to achieve. But the reality is, they've been eating this way for 20 years, 10 years, maybe their whole life. So you have to have some leniency and tailor your program towards this individual, and understand that they have to kind of relearn or untame their mind, and then become reinvent themselves is the whole thing. And reinvention takes time. Self-development takes time. You cannot just wake up one day and be like, I want to be this person that I saw in my head last night, or I was thinking, like, this person has abs, I want to have abs in the morning. Like, it's not gonna happen like that.
When they don't see it in a month or two, they discourage and be like, oh, forget this working out.
And I would like people to realize that this lifestyle is for life. That's why it's called a lifestyle. It's not for this shirt to fit. It's not for this wedding. It's not to manipulate the scale. It's not to like flex for a soca or for a beach event or for the boat for a season. It's called a lifestyle for a reason, because it's your entire life. So that's why you should make sure your program is based on longevity and something you can do from now until you're 60, until you're 70. So I agree with the high cardio intensity approach. I actually want to offer boot camp classes too in the mornings, just to build a community. And I kind of miss that camaraderie and just having people around in group settings. But I also know that for the most part, that aspect of training is not sustainable. Like, there are not many 60-year-olds that can do burpees or, you know, jump up and down or slam their bodies on the ground or do too many high intensity things. But what they can do is strength train. What they can do is walk. They can work on their core strength. They can work on their mobility, their flexibility, as well as increasing, like you say, the holistic approach, keeping their mind sharp through what they eat, and just rest, recovery, and nutrition. So the main thing is you should really focus on what your client is doing outside of the gym, because you're with them maybe 8 hours in a month, maybe 12, and the other times they're with themselves. So they have to understand how to be their personal trainer when you're not around. So that's what you should really teach them, is like
discipline.
Yeah, you're basically preparing them to not need you, but to still want you.
Right. And that takes discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. Just building it in your own time. No, that's good, man. That's good. So I want to tackle some fitness myths.
All right.
So no pain, no gain. You know, we all heard and are familiar with this cliche statement. You know, no pain. If you ain't feeling the pain, you ain't gonna get the gain or whatever. You know, to a certain extent, it's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I holistically believe that anymore, right? Because I do feel like we have to listen to our bodies, and you know when our bodies tell us it needs rest, like we have to rest. If it's too much pain, if it's too painful, you know, like that's a sign that your body is trying to communicate something to you, right?
Yeah.
What's your view on that no pain, no gain view?
I would rather it be no sacrifice, no gain, because there's different ways to experience pain. It doesn't have to be physical, like beat down pain, but just, you know, maybe canceling that party, or maybe not having that drink, or maybe not indulging in drugs and alcohol. That's a form of sacrifice. So basically, what did it cost you to get these gains, other than just pounding the pavement, beating your body down? Because often there are many people that work hard and still accomplish nothing. Right. So it's not just about hard work.
Right.
People work more hours and still don't make more money.
Yep.
So it's not just an aspect of
being busy,
going super hard and being busy. Like you can run fast, but you could also be running fast in place and going nowhere. Yeah. So if you're just taking that aspect of, I go into the gym and I'm just gonna beat myself down and drag myself out the gym, and I feel satisfied because I've sweat and my legs hurt and all of this, but you still have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, did I get better today? Where was I this time last year or last month, and where am I now?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect perspective. Measure yourself versus yourself, right? Your old self. And you should always be, the goal should always be to be better than you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year, right? The next one is, you know, the more exercise I do, the better the results are going to be. Which means, like, you know, you got this old trend. I don't know if it's a popular trend still, but you know, people used to do 2-a-days. Yeah. Like go in the gym in the mornings, go to the gym in the evenings, because I need to work my body hard enough so that I could get the results that I want. What's your view on that?
So I recently spoke to this guy that I've been seeing in the gym for years, and he's someone I look up to. And he just, great physique, and he just told me one day, he's like, man, it's 99% nutrition and 1% gym. So just using it as an illustration, it's basically you have to match your recovery, your hydration, your nutrition with what you do inside the gym. Everyone wants to go in the gym and lift weights and get a good pump, but what are you doing to ensure that you get those gains? So for example, when you go into the gym, you actually break down your muscle fibers. So the gym is where you strip your body, you break everything down. Where you get gains is nutrition, recovery, and hydration. So it's often you can see people that's been gymming for years that go every day, twice a day, and still may not yield results because their recovery does not match their work ethic.
Intensity. Yep.
So it's just like making money and not understanding how to save and how to invest. So yeah, they know how to make money, but they don't know how to save. They don't know how to reinvest. They don't know how to put their hard work to use or their money to use to make more money for them.
This boy's spitting over here. All right.
Yeah.
Jack dog. Okay, ready to go. I like that, boy. I like the analogy with people could make money but don't know how to save it, because it's true. Yeah. Anyone could go in the gym and lift a bunch of weight and, you know, at the end of the day, still not see the gains that you really want to see because you're not resting, you ain't eating properly, and, you know, doing all those things you mentioned.
The extra things.
And then, so since we're talking about nutrition, then, you know, there's this supplements industry where you could supplement your body with protein, creatine, you know, these adrenaline that you need to be in the gym. What they call it again?
Like energy drinks.
Energy drinks, C4. You know, these I just call them drugs. These drugs would have you like having jitters, bro. Like I remember the first time I take C4, I went to the gym, work out fine, left the gym, went to work, sitting up my desk, my body was shaking. I talking about shaking uncontrollably, and I was like, I am never taking C4 again. Yeah. What's your view on supplements?
It comes back down to it's false energy for me. It comes back down to nutrition, the way you sleep, the way you recover. It's a reason why you're tired. So the reason you're buying this energy drink or this supplement to increase your energy is because you're probably lacking some sort of you're lacking in your nutrition. So your body is basically uses food to produce energy. There are animals, there are other beings that do not take a false source of energy to function. So you have to evaluate the real reason why you need this to perform. So which is usually a poor diet. So the same thing is with coffee. I'm not knocking coffee. Some people drink it for a beverage of choice that they enjoy, and some people are now fully dependent on it and cannot survive without it. They need it for energy.
They use it for pre-workout too.
For pre-workout. They feel like their day they can't start their day until they have it.
Coffee,
And I feel like if you enjoy it, it's one thing, but if you're dependent on it, if you're dependent on C4 to perform, maybe you need to reevaluate why your energy is so low. Maybe you need to get more rest. Maybe you need to add a better diet regimen. Maybe you need to eat a more balanced breakfast. Whatever it is, you need to evaluate before you just mask it with false sources of energies, because those things take you up and then they bring you down.
Absolutely. And then when you stop taking them, you lose whatever gains you had made, you know.
And then back to what I was saying with sustainability and longevity. How long do you plan on taking and drinking these energy drinks before your workout? Like I've known people that make workouts 6 to 7 days a week, and they drink an energy drink before every workout. You calculate that for 20 years. Like, what is that doing to your body? What is that doing to your pancreas? You're just spiking insulin into your body, which then, if you don't have a lot of muscle, it's going to be stored in your fat cells or in your liver. So, and we all have a finite amount of insulin if people don't know. So that's why type 2 diabetes is so prevalent, because and it's so crazy that type 2 is, you're not born with it. Like, you have to work hard to get type 2 diabetes. People don't understand that.
Literally eat bad.
No, you have to
get type 2 diabetes. That's crazy.
And so all of these things, along with sodas and just poor diet habits, lead to type 2 diabetes, which is very common in our region and in the world at this point, just due to the increase of processed foods and beverages and things like that.
So what's your view? Because, you know, talking about another myth, I already know that we talked about this already, but I just think this is always funny to me. You have these clients, mostly female clients, not knocking, you know, the female clients out there. This, you know, just something that prevalently comes up with females. They come to the trainer and be like, you know, how do I lose this right here? This section of my body right here, like this.
To be honest, it's not even females at this point.
It's men too?
Yeah. They just want to lose this. I like my arms. I like my arms and my legs. I just want to lose this.
What workout I could do to lose this?
It's no secret workout. There's no amount of ab crunches you can do. You cannot spot reduce. Your body works as one. You lose fat overall you don't just lose fat in one area.
Yep.
Although you can build muscle in these areas through exercises, it's impossible to just pick one area of your body's not gonna just be like, all right, we just want to lose weight in the ab section today. Your body is not wired like that. So you have to reduce your overall body fat, and then you can enhance those areas through strength training. So let's say if you lower your body fat and then you perform rigorous ab exercises and be consistent with it, then you can build like, you know, the muscles that you would want in your ab section. But to say like you do 50 crunches or 100 crunches every day and then you're gonna have abs is
don't work like that.
No. If it did, everyone would have abs.
Everyone would have abs. Yes. For real.
Yeah.
So what's your regimen? Like what do you do personally? You know, to keep yourself in shape, and I'm talking like straight across the board, like your fitness, your nutrition, any supplements that you might take. Like, what's the rest that you do? But what like walk me through a day with your fitness regimen.
So I would say recently within the last few months, I've been trying to eliminate most processed foods. So that's whey protein. I don't take whey protein. I don't take energy drinks. I don't drink coffee. For me, I'm just trying to figure out what could I sustain my life with, that I know, something that I can sustain every day of my life with. So basically, I just wake up in the morning. I normally do fasted workouts. So I'll work out early in the morning, usually by myself. I've been working out by myself for years now. I feel like you have enough motivation and enough things that you need to accomplish to motivate yourself and to be disciplined to work out alone. And it's a good time to just reflect and remember your why and why you're here. Sometimes you can get caught up working up with someone, either competing or just talking, or, you know. So back to your point was basically I work out fasted. Then I would just eat whole foods and try to find the best regimen for me and my lifestyle. So I'm pretty active. I have clients in the morning. I teach physical education at a high school, and then I also train clients in the evening. So I've been basically testing to see how I could sustain my high energy through all these activities, and I've just been doing it with whole foods. I don't drink sodas. Coconut water is my drink of choice.
No juice, no nothing?
No juice. Juice is just sugar, man. Ain't nothing in that.
Natural juice, I'm talking. Like, you don't juice your own fruits?
Like watermelon. Okay, things like that. I'll
okay.
do that. But like just juice, sodas, things like that, I try to stay away from them, because like I say, that again spikes your insulin and then you crash down later in the day. So for me, it's just basically waking up, working out, and then for the rest of the day, basically trying to fuel my body through whole foods like eggs, avocados, chicken, steak, fish, things like that, quinoa, vegetables, everything like that. I just try to figure out what I can do for the rest of my life and what is reasonable and what I can sustain.
And how's that been working for you so far?
It's the best I've ever felt. I'll be 34 tomorrow. I have a lot of kids and people in the gym that think I'm 25, and I embrace that. And they say, man, you look good. They don't believe that. They always try to compete with me. And I kind of hold my own with them. And then I ask them their age, and they're like 70, and I'm like, I'm 33.
Hey.
And they be like,
just
what?
Remember now, age, Father Time don't play. That don't, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, but I felt, to be honest, I feel
that's good. You feel young. You don't feel your age.
So I feel better now than I did at 17. Just telling you about my story and how I was lacking confidence and always sick, in and out of the hospital, afraid to go anywhere without my asthma pump, afraid during games that I'd have an asthma attack. You still have asthma now? Actually, that's kind of how this all came to fruition as well. The more I exercise and the stronger I get, the less
you need it. You're dependent on the pump.
Yeah, so I haven't had one for about 7 years now.
Okay.
And that was a goal of mine, to like not go get a prescription for it, to to take that fear away.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like traveling, things like that. I would be petrified to not have that. I'd be afraid that I might just have one and have an asthma attack on the plane, or like doing something important. So now for me, I noticed the stronger my body got, the better I ate, the less I needed it.
Well, that's good, man. I think, you know, just showing how you're saying that your fitness regimen has, first of all, removed any dependence on an asthma pump, right? You're feeling the best you've ever felt, more better than you felt as a teenager, and it all has to do with your nutrition and, you know, the lifestyle that you're building.
Yeah, taking control, because it's no one to blame. I never want anyone to feel sorry for me. So my close friends and family would know these things about me, but I would never tell my friends or people at school that this was, or people I play sports with, I would never want them to feel sorry for me. I'm sure they wouldn't have anyway, so it wasn't even something to bring up.
Yeah.
But just to realize that I took control of my life, and it actually led to the place that I want to go.
Yeah. And
I'm still chasing this vision of how I see myself in my head. I'm never satisfied. I don't think I've even reached 25% of my potential yet. I'm still learning. And that's another thing I want to express to trainers, is that it's okay to be in the learning stage. Like, I want to learn for about 10 years before I consider myself an expert. So I still stress to my clients that I'm growing with them. I don't feel like I know everything. I don't want you to think like I'm the god of fitness and I can just tell you to do these things and you become this super fit individual. Like, I'm still learning. This is still new to me. Like, post-COVID, I would say my career really started. So I would advise trainers to understand that you don't have to feel like you know it all just yet. It's okay to learn. Your first 5 to 10 years should be you learning and understanding the industry and understanding nutrition and calories and exercises and just evolving with the times, because fitness is forever evolving. It's now very much fused with technology. So go and re-educate yourself. Take some of the money you're getting from your clients, put it back into your education. Go to seminars, travel to other gyms, speak to other trainers. Like, you know, just continue to grow and don't feel like, man, I'm making money. I know what to do. I know how to get people to lose some pounds, and I
ain't got to learn no more.
No, yeah. And that's the majority of people, in my opinion. From what I've seen, that's the majority of trainers here. There are some great ones who continue to expand and grow and change the game, and I commend them. But there's a lot that just feel like they're just in it for the money, because we're still ignorant within the terms of fitness.
Yep.
And it's still pretty much to the bottom. Food and beverage, I would say, is at the top. So a lot of people play on that fact that a lot of people are ignorant, and they just work them hard and they make them sweat, and they feel like, oh, you know, I had a good workout. This trainer has killed me. Or, boy, you going too soft for me. And it's like, miss, you just say you have a bad back and bad knees. Why would I put 100 pounds on your back and kill you? Yeah. And then you'll feel accomplished then. If I put a bunch of weight on you and you throw it your back.
Because it's that no pain, no gain mentality, bro.
So,
you know? Yeah.
So that's my thought on that.
No, I got you. So you know, two last questions. The first is, where do you see yourself in another 10 years, 15 years, 20 years?
I see myself as, I want to be able to empower the youth and make them, so like I said, I know what it's like to not feel confident. I know what it's like to not have someone to tell you where to start. There are many kids here with ambition and drive, but they just don't know where to start or what's step one for them. So that's always been a goal, to be the person I was looking for back then. So I wish I had someone to tell me, like, you know, if you put in the work, if you eat better, if you were to exercise, work on your flexibility, if you were to become smarter, if you were to take a more logical approach to becoming a man early, versus, like, you know, they just tell you you can figure it out when you get older. But I wish I had someone like me to tell. So I always tell young kids, like, start dreaming, start believing in yourself now. Like,
now, if you was 17 and your 37-year-old self tell your 17-year-old self this, you think your 17-year-old self would have listened?
Yeah, to be honest, because like I said, I was looking for that.
Okay.
But it's hard to go up to someone and ask them to give you knowledge.
Got you.
They either do it or they don't.
Yep.
Everyone isn't a mentor. Everyone isn't a role model. Everyone don't want to give you the secret sauce or give you the keys to becoming better than them or more successful than them. But me, I feel like if I could find or create one person like that in this lifetime, I feel like that'll be an accomplishment. If someone listens to me and I can see like, hey, he listened to what I said and this brought him to, even if he's better than me, even if he's more athletic, whatever it is, I feel like that's the goal and that's my purpose in life, is to just be that role model and help people to reinvent themselves and advocate for lifestyle changes.
But you prefer like it to be more on them than on you encouraging them, though. Like sometimes like you want people to take the onus on themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Not always to have the trainer or another individual like telling them. Like I would hope that you would want them to, you know, take what you're telling them, take what you're teaching them, but instill that in themselves. And like you say, create a lifestyle.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. And just to go off what you were asking, for me, I feel like it's better targeting youth. Like, of course, I want to help a wide variety of people, but I feel like young people have less, like they say, you can't teach old dog new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
So older people kind of stuck in their ways. They kind of built these habits over time, and it's hard for them to break. I feel like a lot of young people only know what they know. So if you show them a different, especially if you can show them that you're living this lifestyle, and that they can see it, like they see,
you ain't just telling them.
Yeah, they see the way I carry myself. They see my wife. They ask me questions all the time. They get my phone number. They WhatsApp me. So it's more of don't do what I say, but more do what I do. So I would tell them, but I'll also do it, and they can actually see it and see the benefits of it. So I really want to help the youth and empower young people. And yeah, I see my brand as being more of growing into this big, I want to consult. I want to be like every arena of fitness. I want to be able to like be an octopus and just have my hand in a variety of things, whether that's high schools, whether that's fitness clubs, whether that's just educating people, just holistic approach to fitness. So that's what Untamed is for me. It's more than just getting people fit or working people out. It's actually, I want to be a staple in this fitness industry and be remembered as a pioneer in the fitness industry for the Bahamas and the Caribbean.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
So last question. This is a question I ask all the guests that come to the pod. How do you define success?
I feel like, I know some people might define it through a dollar amount or your house or your car. But for me, I think if you're doing what you set out to do for yourself every day and accomplishing your goals, I see that as a success already. So you're successful if you're providing for your family, you're already a success. If you're a good father, you're a success. If you're a good teacher, if you're a good employee, if you're a good boss, you're a success. It's not just based on external validation. You have to validate yourself internally, and I feel like you can become a success based on what you set out to achieve. Not, like I said, not being validated by a dollar amount or things or people saying that, hey boy, you look successful because you drive this car or you wear this type of clothing. But just waking up and being happy with the person you are every day, I think makes you successful.
No, that's dope. That's dope. To all you fitness enthusiasts out there, you young kids who aspire to be like Kayle, you know, be what he would have liked to have been at 17, right? Taking this advice and putting it to work much earlier than he did, much earlier than all of us did, right? Because, you know, I myself at 17, and I would have loved to have, you know, the knowledge that I have now, or would have loved to have applied the knowledge that I have now earlier on in my life.
And they have so much access to it. That's
too much access. Yeah. And they ain't taking advantage of it, right? But no, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that outlook that you have. So how can people get in contact with you? You know, people that may want to train with you. or be trained by you, whether it's, virtually, online, or, physically, locally here in the Bahamas.
So
how they can get in contact with you?
yeah, so I'm currently building a website that should be out within the next month, I'm hoping.
Mhm.
But they can reach out to me on Instagram. That's _Kayle Fox, or they can reach out to the fitness page, which is Untamed Performance Training. That would be the easiest way to get to me right now. Working on building a Facebook. Just being more open to the community. Like I said, I've been in a learning stage of my career, so I haven't been trying to take on more than I can handle. I really want to gain experience before I open up to the public, but I think it's long overdue now. I think I have so much to offer, and I just have to do it and stop overthinking it and get out of my head and get in the game. So that's my next step, is to be way more personable and way more open to everyone. I feel like I've put in the hours. I feel like I have the confidence to now branch out and just be a pillar of strength for people who might be struggling, and just be more open to tell my story and share my views on this fitness industry.
Yeah, man, because you could encourage a lot of people with that story, right? The growth that you had, the journey that you had, the more you tell it, the more you're going to inspire. And, you'll be surprised what you'll be able to do for your brand, just by talking about it. So appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
No, my pleasure.
Yeah, man.
So that brings us to the part of the pod where I want to leave with you a milestone. Milestone today is simple, right? Fitness is a lifestyle. There's no finish line, right? So don't think of fitness as I have this goal of I want to look good for next summer. I want to look good for this wedding that's coming up. I want to fit in this suit. Think of it as a lifestyle, right? Because fitness is a lifestyle. There should be no finish line, right? The goal and the mindset should be I want to be fit for life, right? I want to be able to be around for my kids and my family for as long as I could, because I'm placing fitness as a priority for me. All right. So that brings us to the end of the pod. Kayle, thanks again for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Definitely do this again.
Definitely got to come back.
But the next time I come back, it'll be bigger and even better.
Yeah, man. We might even be able to do it at the
Untamed.
No, I trying to figure what's the name, like the type of training facility that you have when it's like bar none, like it's the most,
the Mecca.
That ain't it. Anyway, I drawing a blank right now, but
it's fine.
As always, the goal and vision of this pod is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist. Always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. All right, so until next time, you guys stay blessed.